Okay, hey everyone, this is COH Piper again. I'm going to start doing tutorial videos, just tips and tricks on Rome Total War. Today I'm going to show you auto attack and some tips and tricks using auto attack. Okay, for this tutorial we're using Armenia. We're fighting against Seleucid Empire, and I have 1 unit of cataphracts gold, and the AI has 1 unit cataphracts gold. And essentially cataphracts have a secondary attack weapon, the Mace. If I was to attack Seleucids just using right click, they would use their spear. That's their primary weapon. However, their secondary Mace attack is much more powerful, and you select Mace attack by Alt and then right clicking, and it's a lot more powerful than the spear attack. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to charge in, and bearing in mind AI will use the spear attack initially. So we're going to press Alt, hold down Alt, and then right click, and they should use their mace when they attack. You can see they're using their mace here, and the AI using spears. Get a better view there. And they're just completely destroying the AI. And that's a victory there. So it's quite a big advantage using mace versus spears. So always try and get the auto attack in when you use cataphracts or Pretorian Cavalry or Legionary Cavalry. I'm going to show you another piece of information using auto attack in the next part of this video. Okay, this is the next part of the video. I'm going to demonstrate another feature of auto attack. For example, we line these cavalry up, the Pretorian Cavalry. These are gold, and we're fighting against Scipio gold. And essentially we're going to use auto attack again. However, auto attack only works when, for example, if I was to auto attack, select this cavalry, auto attack that cavalry there. If that cavalry gets a hit initially, they'll use mace. However, if I was to auto attack that cavalry there, and my cavalry runs into that cavalry first, it'll use spear. So that's something to bear in mind when you do cavalry assaults. So I'll demonstrate this quickly here. We're going to auto attack the cavalry at the back here and see what happens. And bearing in mind that they should use swords. These guys don't use swords here. And these guys aren't using swords either. 1 cavalry unit is using swords, the rest are using spears. So auto attack only works when the horse cavalry attacks the enemy cavalry unit initially. It doesn't work if they don't attack the one you're selecting. So I'm going to demonstrate this again. We'll move the troops down. So I'll put one unit in first, just to show that auto attack will not work if you're not attacking the unit initially. So these guys will run in, but they will hit these troops in the front there, and they don't use auto attack. They don't have their swords out there. But move these guys forward a little bit. And auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. auto attack. You can see they're using their swords there. Using swords. Using swords. And you can see Scipio using spears. So we've manually selected using auto attack the units we're attacking. Again using swords. So when you're playing battles like this, it's important to it's kind of a trade-off between charging and using auto attack. If I was like Macedon, charging straight through, they don't have the auto attack feature, so a charge is more important for Macedon. Whereas Rome does have auto attack, so it's kind of a trade-off between charging through and using auto attack. Again, I showed you how to use auto attack in this video when using Pretorian Cavalry and cataphracts. Macedon doesn't get auto attack on their cavalry, so charge is a lot more important than the auto attack. So you put your troops into wedge formation, and that gives them a charge bonus. So the object here is we don't go for the individual auto attacks. We want to maximize the charge. So you want to charge through the enemy units. So a good idea is to spread out units when getting the charge. So we can put troops to the side there, put troops to the other side, and this will help us maximize the charge. So again, AI is just being a bit stupid here. So essentially charging in from different sides. But always get the first charge in and line your troops up. So I'll demonstrate this again. This wasn't that good demonstration, but it's essentially attacking from all sides. You can see there, we're getting a counter charge there on the Pretorian Cavalry. Again, line up. So always line your troops up like that first, into wedge, and then attack. So I'll demonstrate this again. Okay, we're playing as Macedon again. I'm going to demonstrate wedge formation and attacking from multiple sides. This is also called Z timing. It's pretty difficult to get right, but it's really important when you use Macedon to use the cavalry well, because they don't get auto attack. So the idea is to attack from multiple angles. So we'll move the troops up. So you want to put in 2 troops first, and that will hold Rome in place. And we want to try and attack through. So see how the troops are lined up there, and we have 2 light lancers on the sides. So that's a good demonstration using the light lancers there. I should also say Roman has Pretorians and legionary cavalry. And because of the surround, the bulk of the Pretorians just routed there. Okay, this next part of the video about cavalry, I want to talk to you about grouping your cavalry units versus ungrouping your cavalry units. There's benefits and weaknesses for each one. Okay, I'm going to go over grouping the units. So, as a demonstration, we're going to group these units. And I'll show you what it's like to attack with group units like this. The benefit of grouping your cavalry is that it's easier to manage. For example, that could be one cavalry unit group there. I could have one on the sides, and that can help you keep track of where your units are. However, it messes up the charge of the cavalry. For example, say I want to attack that unit there, cavalry. It doesn't register properly. So just say I want them to attack like that unit there, at the back there. They'll go out on their separate ways like this and attack random units, or possibly units that are closest. So when they're grouped, they won't actually follow direct orders. Some of them attacked the unit I suggested. I wanted them to attack, but some of them didn't. Some of them ran off to attack other units. So that's one of the drawbacks. They choose their own targets sometimes. However, if you ungroup the units, that problem is taken away. So again, we'll attack some units at the back. And you can see, again, they're going separate ways. And they're actually chasing troops that are routing, so that's really bad. Okay, in the last section of this, or the previous section, I showed you that if you group heavy cavalry units together and you attack an enemy unit, the cavalry unit doesn't always do what you want it to do. Sometimes they go off and attack other units, and they sometimes attack the closer units. It kind of varies. So if you're attacking en masse using heavy cavalry, it's important not to group them. You can use group to help yourself manage the different cavalry units. However, if you're attacking en masse like this, you really want to ungroup your cavalry units. It just means that you have greater control over where they attack, and you don't have to worry about them attacking pikes at the front or whatever. I would really only use grouping cavalry units at the start of the battle, just to try and micro where they are and what they're doing. I tend to always group horse cavalry, cavalry archers. However, in this sort of situation, you want to ungroup your cavalry units. So another tip when using cavalry, when you use Pretorian cavalry, they have a secondary alt attack, which is a sword attack, which is more powerful than spears. However, you can use cavalry as a sort of battering ram, which is quite helpful. So the idea behind this is, instead of attacking the frontal units, attacking a previous unit, attacking a unit at the back, and this will charge the cavalry through the line and create a hole. So I will show you this in this video. What I'll do is I'll take off Pila to give a good demonstration. So Pila is taken off, and we'll show you how to use the cavalry in this way. So infantry's gone in, and now we're going to run through like this. So we've attacked the back unit there, and you can see that line just broke there. The front two units of Urbans broke, the one at the back didn't break, but that was the unit that actually attacked. So you can use cavalry like this to break lines, and you use guard mode to get them out of combat faster. An example where grouping units or grouping cavalry is beneficial is when you have horse archers. I personally prefer to have horse archers grouped. It just means that they're easy to keep track of for me personally. Horse archers don't really engage in melee anyway, so you don't have to really worry about charging. A trick with using horse archers, you can put them in guard mode. That means that if they get chased down by light cavalry and you withdraw them, they'll withdraw a lot easier than if you didn't have guard mode on, because they won't actively engage in melee combat when they have guard mode on. So they're a bit easier to manage that way. Again, I group infantry together and I group archers together. That makes it a bit easier managing them. And again, heavy infantry, we've talked over the drawbacks of grouping heavy infantry, and there are pros and cons. Again, I can stick them on the right flank and make them group 4. However, that means that if I attack enemy units, they might not follow the orders, which poses a problem. A way to get around this is you can ungroup them and say they hate the battle. I need to select all the cataphracts. You can use a command, control and then click, and that selects all the cataphracts. Same with archers, control click, control click, control click. So that can that's a command that can help you with your micro a bit. Also, you can control C for cavalry and then deselect your missile cavalry. So that's one of the benefits of putting your horse archers into a group. Again, when you use horse archers, put them into a Cantabrian circle. This helps them against enemy archer fire. And always make your horse archers separate like this, and they'll take less fire from archers. Okay, this is an example whereby having your units in guard mode is helpful for missile cavalry. They were chased down by light cavalry there, and they were almost caught, but because they were in guard mode, they were actually able to pull out a lot faster. Horse archers don't engage in melee combat too well, so having them in guard mode is really helpful. And they're also in tight formation, and I've taken off skirmish mode as well. So when you retreat like this, you always want to make sure you're manually selecting where your horse archers are going. The AI doesn't do it too well. Put your horse archers into tight formation and take off skirmish mode and put guard mode on. So even if these guys do catch up, they won't actually be drawn into combat. And the longer that the chase goes on, the more casualties Roman will take. Okay, this is the last part of the tutorial regarding cavalry. Hopefully you found it interesting. The last part is going to talk about there's two factions, Egypt and Scythia, that have cavalry that's very powerful at defeating cataphracts, and relatively these factions are very good denarii wise. They have armour defeating properties. One is Egypt, Desert Light Cav, and the other one is Scythia with the Headhunting Maidens. They have the ability to destroy armour, and they're very effective at that. So again, we're going to attack from multiple angles. To make sure we gain the maximum charge. So again, bearing in mind that I only spent about 4,000 denarii on this, and Armenia has almost 8,500. So it just shows you how cost efficient Desert Cavalry are against Cataphracts. So that's the last part of the tutorial. Hopefully you guys found it interesting and beneficial. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It's always very helpful for my channel. And stay tuned for more tutorials.